We are super excited to talk about the humanitarian vacation in the Dominican Republic. This is a great tour. We've done it several times and it has a special spot in our hearts. Throughout the presentation, if you have any questions, please feel free to put those in the chat. At the end, we'll go and we'll look at all those and we'll answer any questions that you have. So I am Erica. This is Liam. We have done this tour several times, as we said. It's actually where we met. We spent a little bit of time living in the Dominican Republic, and we just love this tour. We love going. So tonight, we're going to talk about the daily schedule that we normally do, different service projects, recreational activities. We'll get a chance to hear from one of the families that came with us this last summer. We'll talk about our 2026 dates, and then we'll have our Q&A. So what is a humanitarian vacation? A lot of people will ask us, okay, is it more humanitarian? Is it more vacation? And the answer is kind of both. So when we look at our daily schedule, you'll see in the morning, we have a very normal morning. We do breakfast, we wake up, we leave, and then we do our service project for the first half of the day. And this service project will change every day, depending on what we have scheduled. But at lunch, we'll eat lunch together, and then we'll go and either do a recreational activity, or we'll go back to the resort to enjoy beach time. And then from there, it's kind of up to you how you decide to spend your time. You'll have dinner on your own, and we'll always have optional games and activities to do at night if you choose to.
Yeah.
So each of these service projects, we're going to address 4 different things. What problem does it solve? Details about the project. Who is it supposed to be helping? And then how difficult is it to get involved, or how hard is it to do?
Yeah, so I'll just talk about the first project that we have is the water filters. And these are kind of different than you expect for water filters. They're actually like clay pots. And you can pour water in the top, and there's over time they drip through and filter out those water filters. But the main reason we want this and we participate in this is that the Dominican Republic doesn't really have a great water system. All their clean water is usually brought in by water bottles, and you even see this at the airport, is they don't have any drinking fountains, so you have to buy water bottles. And so for the more poverty families, they don't have that opportunity to buy those water bottles. They just go to the river or collect rainwater, or even just use the tap water, which is definitely not sanitary. And so we got to go make these pots. We can show some of these pictures here. So we got to make the clay. We get to basically smash it until it's the right density. And then we put on this giant press, and we kind of carve and sculpt these big pots in order to become these filters. We also get to do a purification test, and that's fun to kind of see that, make sure they're up to standards and everything. And we also have other things. They make bricks there, and we can participate in making those bricks, and that actually helps fund the nonprofit organization to be able to make these filters and get these out with these people. And it's fun. We'll see it later on as we go to these different other sites. We actually bring those water filters to those families as well. And that's just kind of us just getting all there and getting into it.
So how hard it is really just kind of up to you. All these projects are very variable. They can be changed depending on your age and your ability to participate. So if you would like to do the testing of the water filters, because that's easier for you, you can 100% do that. And it's going to be like a 1 out of 10. It's not going to be that hard to do. If you want to be involved in molding the clay, that's going to use more of your muscles. And so that's going to be more of a 6 out of 10. So our overall rating is the 6 out of 10 if you're going to participate in all of the aspects of this activity. But again, it can be adjusted depending on your needs.
And it's super fun to just we do competitions, 2 different groups who can make the most water filters as well.
Mm-hmm. So the next opportunity that we have is actually a chocolate factory. So you get to live out your Willy Wonka dreams just a little bit and go and work in a chocolate factory for a day. So the reason why we go to this chocolate factory is because it is actually a women's cooperative. So what does that mean exactly? That means that a bunch of single women in the community, usually single mothers, have gathered together, and they have formed this chocolate factory to try to work together to make a living. And so we get to go in and we get to see all the different process of how chocolate is made. And then we get to participate in various activities in real time. So what does that mean? It means if we go in that day and they need a lot of help with packaging, then that's what we're going to do that day. Or if they need a lot of sorting, that's what we're going to do. So we try to help them with their real-time needs for fulfilling their orders and getting the factory going. But we will always have the opportunity to see the whole chocolate process, even if we're not doing service necessarily for each of those steps. So we get to see how they're planted, how they're roasted, ground up, sorting through them, and then molding them, and of course, packaging. So overall, this one is about a 2 out of 10 for physical demand because most of it you're actually just sitting and you're just using your hands.
We're indoors too, and it's really nice temperature. They keep it cool.
They keep it cool, so that's a bonus.
All right, yeah, and the other activity or the is teaching English, which is super fun. We get to go and go see a bunch of different kids. We have different ages of all groups, and it's super fun to be able to just kind of play around with them as well. But Erica actually created a really good curriculum that we'll hand out before the trip, and it's really nice to be able to study it beforehand because we in years past we've done it without it, and you just kind of play with them. But it really helps to be able to like know a couple of the colors that you can like point out a crayon and say, oh, this is blue. They say azul, and you're like, okay, azul, blue, and they say it back to you. Just a fun time. We play other games too. They'll draw pictures, and as of like interaction stuff, if you got enough energy, they'll take it. So if you're going to be willing to like, carry them on your back, they'll want you on your back the whole time, but you don't have to. But it's so much fun. We also play other games too. We play Dominican baseball, which is really just a stick, and they take the little water caps from like the big water bottles, and that's what they use for the ball. And so we'll play that. Sometimes they bring a ball. It just kind of depends. But yeah, we'll play all sorts of games.
Mm-hmm. So this one isn't super physically demanding unless you really want it to be. If you want the kids climbing all over you and you're all into that, then it's going to be pretty demanding. But if you just want to play dominoes with them or sit there and do down by the banks or whatever, then it's not that hard. Mentally, I would say that this one is actually a little more demanding just because we've had people kind of show up and get a little frustrated that they can't communicate with the kids as well as they would have hoped, and not every group is going to have someone that speaks Spanish to help out with that translation. But we do know that studying the curriculum ahead of time will help quite a bit with your experience. You'll at least feel a little more prepared going in. And just know that it's okay that the lesson doesn't go perfectly every time. The biggest benefit with this one is actually just having a native English speaker. So just having that English and hearing it, hearing how we pronounce things, how we talk, our language patterns, that's going to be the most impactful thing for these kids. And then, yeah, so our last project is the concrete floors. This one is always a favorite because it's super in the community and you get to see the impact that you're making like right then and there. It's not delayed. So we're involved in all of this process as well, but we do have a group of local craftsmen who help us to make sure that we give them a good floor that's not going to crack. So we will mix the concrete, we'll take water and we'll dump it into the center, mix it all up, and then we'll split it up into these buckets and form an assembly line and get it down to the house. So once we get it down to the house, then the craftsman will kind of take it from there and they'll lay it how it needs to be laid, make sure that it's even and all that good stuff. If we have leftover concrete during the project, usually they'll try to utilize it to give the house an upgrade of some sort, whether that's a little back patio or a front patio or doing a little bit extra in the bathroom to kind of make it nicer. And it's a great way for everyone to be involved. In this picture, you can see we have a couple of kids working on this too. It's not just big, strong people. When we send the lines down with the concrete, they're heavy, but we need those buckets back up top, and those are going to be empty. So it's a great opportunity to involve all ages and just knowing that you can take breaks as you need. So this is a good picture of what we did last year. This is the house. You can see that the floor actually looks decently clean because they've combed it over for the concrete. But usually these floors are hard to keep clean. They have a lot of dust, bacteria. They can cause a lot of diseases when you're living in this for a long time. So that's obviously a natural benefit of the concrete floor. But then, of course, they have their own Dominican flair, and they like to color the flooring as well. So it makes it look more like a home, even if the rest of the home isn't in the best shape.
Yeah, it's fun too. Like the locals will come out and bring you like, different fruits and stuff depending on the season. And it's such a fun time to, try these fresh mangoes as well.
And interact. And sometimes the family will be there that we're helping serve, and sometimes they won't be. Usually it will be like a single mom. And so her kids might be there, or they'll be at school, or she'll be at work. So it kind of just depends. But the community is really funny. They'll kind of sit on their porch and just kind of watch and see how see how this new home is going to turn out.
Yeah, we had like the little girl was so excited for her new room and stuff too. It was really cool to see that.
Yeah. So this one, as you would imagine, is going to be 8 to 9 out of 10, depending on how involved you get. Passing the buckets is going to be pretty heavy, but at the same time, keep in mind this is only a half-day project, so it's not like you're going out and you're working from dawn to dusk all day going at it.
Yeah, and then we just talk about like kind of the fun parts as well, the recreation activities. So we've got this waterfall. They call it like the 27 waterfalls. We usually only do like 9, but you get a jump into these rivers. They got all this gear and stuff, and you get just so much fun just kind of crawling through all these waterfalls. And if you're not super stoked about jumping off a waterfall, they also have stairs, as you can see right there, to be able to kind of go down those spots and stuff.
Yeah. They
Super
also have
fun.
slides, so not all of them are jumps, but they're just kind of natural slides. And you just go down them like any other slide at an aquatic center. You just like mummy it, and it's really fun.
Yeah, it's about a, I think, 25, 30-minute hike up to the top as well. So just kind of doing stuff around there. Therefore,
Yep. And then we have the opportunity to go to church while we're in Puerto Plata. This is just the local ward. We go and we participate in sacrament meeting in Spanish. And then if you would like to do Spanish second hour, you're totally welcome to. If not, we do a little come follow me group just with our group in English. And then afterwards, we'll do a little city tour. So we'll go see the Puerto Plata sign. We'll go to the plaza. Last year, we were able to feed the pigeons, and it was super fun. But we'll just kind of explore the city just a little bit before we head up to Mount Isabel. This is the tallest mountain on that side of the island, and it's very foggy up top. So sometimes if it's a super clear day, you'll be able to see the coast and the whole island. And most of the time it will be really rainy and foggy.
it's still pretty cool, like
But it's,
foggy,
yeah.
mystical vibe when you're up there. You can get lost in these gardens all over. It goes, I don't know, super tons of paths up in here.
They're super fun to explore. You take a cable car up to the top, and then, like you said, there's gardens up top. They have different flowers, different kinds of bushes. They have tunnels. They have all these kinds of things. And then, of course, they have Christ the Redeemer statue as well. This is a replica of the one that's in Rio. Definitely not as big, but it's still really cool. And it's a great way to spend our Sunday afternoon there.
This is my personal favorite is going to the river, and we do like kind of outback safari. If we get one of the outdoor buses, it's super fun as well because we go see the countryside and the windows are open. When we get there, it's kind of the same thing as the other waterfall, except this is a public area, and so you guys can jump off as many times, do some cliff jumping, or just hang out in the water. Or even if you see this spot over here, you can actually go underneath this waterfall. That's super fun to hang out. Usually we'll do lunch depending on what time is and what everyone's liking. We can stay there longer, or we can head back to the beach.
Yep. The other thing too about this is it's like 100% local spot.
Oh yeah.
So you're not gonna find any other tourists here. You're gonna find Dominican families enjoying the beautiful river that they have. So it's definitely one of those hidden gems that we get to explore. Beach at the resort, it's beautiful sand. We try to do little sand castle competitions. You can just hang out. They have beds and benches. They have the souvenir shops, like just little shops on the resort that you can go to. They sell pina coladas, pineapple to make it super fun. And then we try to at least do one, if not two, fires at night. And this is a great time to just kind of come together in a low-key way, just hang out, get to know everyone that's on the tour, and just enjoy each other's company.
Yeah.
The resort is also very beautiful. They have a swimming pool, they have all the stuff on the beach, like I mentioned, but then they also have a big complex outside of that. So they have different restaurants that you can go explore, they have a little mall, um, and then they also have a golf course if you're interested in that. So Caitlin has joined us tonight. She is one of the families that came with us this last summer, the Schmidt family. And we've asked her to kind of share her experience a little bit from last year and just kind of tell us all about it.
Hi, this is my daughter Ryan. She's in that picture right there. I'm glad that you invited us to be on this call. It's fun to relive all these adventures that we had. And I cannot say enough good about this trip. It's just such a wonderful, like they're just so organized. Everything is planned out. The It's a really good mix of service opportunities and work, and then also downtime and fun. So, which was perfect for our teenagers. They got it all. So it was a lot of fun. Ryan, what do you want to add?
The food was amazing.
Yeah.
The food was really good. The games were super fun. Everybody there was so positive. Like, there wasn't one person that I was like, oh, they're dragging us down. Like, everybody's had so much fun. It's just like a lot of positive vibes.
Yeah, and they were very accommodating. So I have two of our kids have special needs, and one day my daughter was having a bad day, and so we just stayed back at the resort, and they were just very accommodating. It was a day they poured concrete, and so we just stayed back and had a chill day while everybody else went to work. But it was just such an incredible experience that was so great for our family.
What was your favorite project that we did?
Oh,
I honestly liked all of them, but my favorite would probably be teaching English to the kids. I loved like to know their culture and just like seeing the kids. They're so adorable. So cute.
yeah, it was really fun and interesting to see their school and how they learn, and um, so that was fun. My favorite was the chocolate factory was fascinating. Obviously, you look at my picture, like I love chocolate. So that was fascinating and super fun to see like the entrepreneurial spirit of the women, and they were just so fun to be around, and yeah, it was a great experience.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thanks for
Well,
having us.
of course. And we'd love for you to come with us again. Here we have our 2026 dates over Christmas break. So usually we've done this tour during the summer, but we've heard a lot of feedback saying, why not do it over Christmas? So that is what we are doing this year. So the way that it's going to work is that you'll have all of Christmas Day to celebrate, have your normal traditions, and then that night you would leave and you would take a midnight flight to Puerto Plata. So then you get there, you have a day to kind of regroup from your midnight flight, and then we start and we do service for the week. We have a New Year's Eve celebration, and then we'll go home on New Year's Day in the afternoon. So this is a perfect opportunity to have a surprise Christmas present. Wake up that morning and just say, we're going to the Dominican Republic tonight. And it's going to be amazing. And you might be wondering, is this going to be like weird for my kids? Is it going to be hard for my kids? But Liam has a lot of experience with that.
Just being like, yeah, because we actually did this the first time when my parents were trying to start out the tour company. We went as a family. We didn't do presents or anything that year, and we just went to the Dominican Republic, kind of scouting it out. We went with a cruise line that doesn't go anymore, but it was so much fun. And yeah, by far, it's been talking to all my siblings, it's probably one of our favorite Christmases, if not the favorite. So.
So if you're hesitant, don't be. It's going to be amazing. So now we wanted to turn the time over to you guys. If you have questions, please put them in the chat and we will answer them. Okay, so one question that we have is about safety in the Dominican Republic. So safety is actually pretty normal. It's about the same as anywhere in the US, that you are safe on the resort. You're safe when we go out to our projects and do our different activities. If you choose to leave the resort, you are safe, but you also want to exercise just a little precautions that you would as foreigners in a different country. You just want to make sure that you have cell phone service, that you have Google Maps, you can get back to the resort, just taking those common sense actions with you. But it is safe, and we actually, Liam and I, will take a group, whoever is excited to go snorkeling down in one of our favorite spots. And we just go and do that, just local transportation and all that. And it is completely safe. You just want to make sure that you have the resources to get back, especially let us know if you're going to leave the resort. The resort is gated with security as well, so that's coming. They're not going to let just like anyone into the resort. You're very safe wandering around it. Another question that we have is about the minimum age to participate. So normally our tours, we say that you need to be 8 and older to participate. That is true in the case of being able to participate in the service projects and in some of the activities. But coming on the tour in general, that's not true. You can have, grandma and grandpa come and they stay at the resort while we go do the service projects, and they keep the little kids with them. And then you all get to spend time as a family later that night. Kind of like Caitlin was saying, you can hang back if you need to. We're not moving hotels and you have to catch up with us at the next spot. It's very low key in that way. And then like the waterfalls, to do the jumping, they require you to be 8 years old. But if you wanted to bring your children to the river adventure, that one is totally up to you. We don't have any life jackets or lifeguards, anything like that. So it's just up to, your own interpretation of how you want to watch your kids. I did have one about meals. So meals are included with breakfast and lunch, and then we do dinners on your own. So you'll have breakfast at the resort. For lunch, we'll go out to a local restaurant, or they'll have like little box lunches that they'll bring us sometimes. And kind of like Ryan was saying, like the food is so good, and it's awesome that you get to experience the local food and not just the resort food. But at night, you do have the option to go to several different restaurants at the resort, or like we said, you could go out and explore on your own. Oh, when are decisions due and deposits? That is a great question. So we do require final payment 90 days before the tour. At 120 days before the tour, so about 4 months, we have to decide if we have enough people to go or not. So definitely by August is going to be the best time to get in your deposits. Sooner if you can, so that we know that there's actually interest in the tour. But yes, by August, that's going to kind of be our turning point of decision making. Did anyone else have questions? Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We were so excited to go on this tour. We love it. We love doing it. We love hosting it. And we know that you're going to love it too.